earthquake in the media landscape, Glenn, about Tucker and Fox parting ways. Don Lemon's also been terminated from CNN. Less of an earthquake. So let's start with the big news.
That's not even a tremor.
No.
Okay, so Don Lemon, let's just dismiss. I think it's great timing for CNN because no one's going to talk about Don Lemon and he'll just be gone and nobody will even realize it. And, you know, so all those celebrations will be missed too. When it comes to Tucker, this is phenomenal. I was trying to think of anyone that has left at the absolute pinnacle of their ratings, and I can't think of anyone on cable news. Who?
I did.
Oh yeah, you did. Yeah, that's right. You did. Yep, you're right.
My show is number one in the key advertising demo.
No,
I decided not
you're
to
right.
my deal.
You're right. I was remembering that differently. My apologies.
No worries.
Yeah. So,
and I mean, you did too. Like you and Fox parted ways. You were on fire. There wasn't a more relevant voice in cable. So it's happened. But Tucker is in a unique position. With all due respect to you and to me, Tucker right now is extremely powerful. His voice, the politicians bow to him. They look for his approval. I mean, he's just at a different level. You know, when we were there, we had you, Bill, me, and we had people that were following stories, especially the two of us. We would delve into things that made people uncomfortable, like Tucker does. Tucker's the only one there now that I think actually is really exploring and looking for the truth. He may not get it right all the time, but he is certainly a lone voice in the wilderness. And I think this is really going to hurt Fox. But I tell you, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. I think between the AOC statement that came out over the weekend that, you know, Fox should be regulated, the $1 billion lawsuit, and more importantly, CBS in this insane interview with Ray Epps, where Ray Epps specifically said, Tucker Carlson is targeting me to destroy my life. I think those three things happening within 7 days is not a coincidence. I just think the Murdochs, if nothing else, have very, very steely spines. I mean, the New York Times did a front page piece on Tucker Carlson and what a racist he allegedly is. And then every 2 minutes retweets it on their Twitter feed. They have tried so hard to take him down, and they just, no. You know, the Ruperts, no. They don't listen to the New York Times. The Dominion lawsuit was not about Tucker. If anything, why isn't Maria fired? Why isn't Jeanine Pirro fired? Why isn't Suzanne Scott fired if it were about Dominion? It can't be that this is about Dominion. I mean, maybe they know something we don't know. Very possible, but it doesn't make sense to me.
So what do you think is happening here?
I think shareholders, I think the board, I think they were rattled by the left's coverage of Dominion, because if you were to read the left's coverage of Dominion, it is Tucker's fault.
Which goes right to the left's plan. Here's what I think, Megyn. It is not like when you and I left, there wasn't this system that we have now online. I mean, I left and there were...
You created it. Well, you and our guest, who we were going to have on, Adam Curry, today, but we'll move him to another day because of the breaking news. You were really a pioneer in the space. He was the pioneer, and you were one as well.
Yeah. Well, we put the first network on the air, which had never been done. And I learned a lot of lessons, and it cost a lot of money. But we have it down now. And I think people can see that. It's not like you're prospecting anymore. You can leave and come to online and have total freedom, and make more money, have a better life and a better connection with people. And you're not that face that where everybody lines up to punch you in the face like Tucker was. He was the number one punching bag.
His family had been threatened. We covered the actual, protest. I can't find a better word. It wasn't a full riot, but just incursion on his property at his home with his wife inside. he constantly with the death threats and the armed guards. I mean, he's being approached in every store. They made him truly. They said that Larry Elder was the black face of white supremacy. They made Tucker the white face of white supremacy. They made him into David Duke, which is a lie. It's a lie. It's based mostly on the whole replacement theory, which is basically just Tucker saying there's a reason they want all these immigrants coming across the border, and it's to make them into future voters. It wasn't, they're getting rid of the whites. That was not it.
It's not. It's not. And, he was alone, though, at Fox with the videos. Did you notice that the news department never played any of those videos?
Yes, we talked about this. They didn't support him at all. They buried their own exclusive.
Correct. It was all him. They didn't. I mean, Megyn, in your wildest dreams, you have access to tapes. He's showing you the tapes. You could verify that the tapes are real because you know where the source and everything. Why would you not cover that? That's not news. I think Fox is in real trouble. Real trouble.
The only thing I would say is I don't think this would do it. I mean, outside of my theory about the board and the shareholders.
Yeah.
If there's another major talent that you find out just re-upped their deal at some astronomical number, that person could potentially, I don't know. I mean, they could have said he goes or I go. But I don't think there's not another bigger star at Fox. But there are bigger money makers because advertisers weren't going on his show.
The way that this was couched, though, it is mutual, yada, yada. I could see a scenario where they said, look, you're not going to do this, this, and this anymore because our tolerance level is very, very low. We're not going to get sued, blah, blah, blah. And he said, I'm not doing that. And they weren't so sad to see him go, and he wasn't so sad to leave. I could see that.